Welcome back to the deep dive. So you've probably seen them, right?
Oh, yeah, those little chat windows
Yeah.
on websites.
Exactly. The AI ones popping up everywhere, ready to answer your questions anytime, day or night.
hmm And what's often running them is, well, basically the company's own FAQs,
Right.
but fed into some pretty smart AI, large language models.
Yeah, the LLMs. They learn from just tons of text so they can chat in a way that sounds, well, pretty human.
Exactly. And it's not just for customers anymore, is it? We're seeing them pop up inside companies, too, for employees to find stuff quickly.
Always on support, instant answers. That's the promise anyway.
But I think as we use these more, some pretty big questions start coming up for us, as users.
Totally. Like, what data are these things actually trained on? Can you really, truly trust the answers?
And what happens to our data? The questions we ask.
Yeah, exactly. These are the kinds of things that, well, they either make you feel okay about a company or go kind of nervous.
And that's precisely what we want to dig into today.
Our mission, really.
Yeah, our mission for this deep dive is looking at how companies can actually build that trust. Make us feel confident using these public AI knowledge bases.
Because having the tech is one thing.
Right.
Using it responsibly in a way that earns trust, that's the real challenge.
It really is.
Okay, so let's get into it. I mean, just last week, I asked one of these things a question, and the answer was just completely wrong. So frustrating.
Oh, I've been there.
It brings up that huge concern. Reliability. We're all hearing more about AI just making stuff up sometimes. Hallucinations, they call them.
AI hallucinations.
Huh.
So it's a real phenomenon.
So if you're interacting with the company's AI helper, you absolutely need to feel sure the information's right, it's current, and it's, not biased. That's fundamental.
Absolutely fundamental. Because if you get bad info, it's not just annoying, it wastes your time.
Right.
It can lead you down the wrong path, and ultimately you start doubting the whole company, not just the AI.
So how do companies tackle this? Like, really tackle it head on so we feel good about the answers?
Well, one approach that's getting traction is basically showing the receipts, making the AI sources visible.
Okay, tell me more. Like how?
So imagine you ask your question, you get the AI answer, but right there alongside it, links to the actual documents or articles the AI used to come up with that answer.
Ah, okay. I think I saw something like this. Udrin text norm. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's one example. It does exactly that. Answer plus sources.
That feels really direct. Much better than just trust us.
Exactly. It shifts to, here's the proof. You, the user, can click and check the original source yourself really quickly. It's about building trust through, well, transparency.
I like that. But hang on. What if those source documents are, like, super technical or pages and pages long? Does just linking really help then?
That's a great question. It's definitely a challenge. You can't just dump a 50-page PDF on something.
Right. That doesn't help much.
No. So there's an art to it. Maybe you provide a short summary of the source or highlight the specific paragraph the AI used.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Make it easy to verify the key bit without getting bogged down.
Exactly. But, and this is key, the full link is still there. So if you do want to dive deeper.
You can. It caters to everyone. Quick check or deep dive.
Precisely. And building on that, it's not just about where one answer came from. It's also about the bigger picture, right? Meaning, how is the whole knowledge base managed? Companies should probably be clear about how often they update the info.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Who curates it, make sure it's accurate, and where all that information originally came from in the first place.
That makes total sense. Knowing there's a process that is regularly checked, that it comes from reliable internal sources, that definitely builds confidence.
It also gives a sense of accountability. If something is off, you have a better idea of, like, the information's pedigree.
Okay, but what if, despite all that, you do find something wrong? Or maybe something's just missing.
Yeah, perfection is probably impossible. That's where user feedback comes in. It's crucial.
So like a little, was this helpful button?
Exactly. Easy ways for you to rate the answer or report an issue right there in the interface. Simple thumbs up, down, maybe a comment box.
But just collecting feedback isn't really enough, is it?
No, not at all. That's only half the battle.
The real trust comes when they actually do something with it.
Precisely. Companies need to show they're listening and acting on that feedback. If 10 people flag the same answer as wrong, or say information is missing.
They need to fix it. Or add it.
Yes. It sends a powerful signal. We value your input. We want to get this right. That loop is so important for trust.
So it's about continuous improvement based on actual user experience.
Yeah. And underpinning all of this, let's not forget preventing the errors in the first place. The sources we looked at really hammered home the need for robust internal checks, countermeasures, to stop those AI hallucinations before they reach the user.
Absolutely critical. Because like I said, even one really wrong, confidently stated answer,
It shatters trust.
yeah, it can really damage your confidence in that company's system. They need the tech, sure, but also the human oversight to catch errors, build a solid foundation.
Okay, so we've covered making sure the info is reliable, being transparent about sources,
Yeah.
handling feedback. That's all crucial.
Right.
Now, let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about data, our data.
Yeah.
What happens when we interact with these AI systems?
Yes, the data privacy question. People are definitely way more aware now about how their online activity is tracked and used.
They really are. And the thing is, when you're typing questions into an AI knowledge base,
Mm-hmm.
you might not even think about the fact that your questions, maybe the ratings you give, that interaction data,
Mm.
it could be collected.
Collected to what? Train the AI further, make it better?
Often, yeah. That's a common use case.
Yeah.
But that lack of awareness or clarity can make people feel, well, uncomfortable, uneasy.
So transparency again, but this time about data practices.
Exactly. Companies need to be really proactive here. Make it super clear, super easy to understand. What data are we collecting? Why are we collecting it? How are we using it?
And this info shouldn't be buried deep in the terms and conditions nobody reads.
Definitely not. It needs to be upfront. Maybe a clear, simple notice when you first use the tool.
Yeah, like a little pop-up, plain language, not legalese.
Right. Honesty from the get-go.
And it's not just telling people, is it? It's also about control.
Good point. Depending on the regulations, like GDPR or others, companies should really provide options. Let users choose.
Opt in or opt out of their data being used for, say, AI training.
Mhm. Giving you that choice, where applicable, is a huge trust builder. It respects your agency.
Totally agree. And beyond transparency and choice, there's the security aspect. They have to keep any data they collect safe.
Absolutely critical. Strong security measures are non-negotiable. Things like anonymizing personal information so it can't be traced back to you.
And strict rules about who even gets to see that data internally. Prevent breaches, prevent misuse.
Because think about it. If you feel your data isn't safe, even if you technically agreed to share some of it,
Poof, trust gone.
instantly. Data breaches have such long-lasting damage to a company's reputation and your willingness to engage again.
But on the flip side, when companies do nail this, they're open about data, they give you control, they keep it secure,
Then users feel informed, they feel protected.
and they're much more likely to actually use the AI knowledge base with confidence.
Exactly. It fosters better engagement, more sustained interactions.
Yeah.
Trust fuels use.
So pulling it all together, it seems pretty clear. Ensuring user trust in these AI knowledge bases, it's not just a nice to have anymore.
No, it's a necessity. It's table stakes for these systems to actually work and be adopted.
Right. By really focusing on reliable answers through transparent sourcing and actively fighting errors,
Mm-hmm.
and by being just as transparent and careful with user data, that's how companies build that essential trust.
And it's not just about good PR or keeping users happy today. These practices, transparency, reliability, data security, they also position companies better for the future.
How so?
Well, they align with where AI standards and regulations seem to be heading anyway. It makes them more resilient, more future-proof, you could say.
Makes sense. Become a reliable partner in this whole AI transition.
Exactly.
So this leaves us with a really interesting question for you, the listener, to mull over. Thinking long term, how might this growing emphasis on transparency and data security and AI fundamentally change the whole relationship between companies and us, their users?
Good question. Could it actually push us towards a more ethical, maybe more trustworthy digital world overall?
Definitely something to think about.